I'm Maria, I'm 20 years old, and I have been sober for 116 days, I believe. So I got into recovery after a couple of unfortunate events. At one point I had overdosed, and then the breaking straw was when my mom overdosed, and she actually went into treatment before I did, so then I followed after her. But I had been using for about like 5 years at that point, so it just really became unmanageable in every sense that they talk about. I honestly never thought that I could get sober. I didn't even think it was something that I wanted to do. It wasn't until I heard about Cornerstone that I actually decided that I was open to it. And when I got there, I was still uncomfortable. I still didn't know how I felt about it. But obviously, a lot of the staff members, I warmed up too quickly. And then it became something real. It wasn't some weird promise that seemed out of reach. This may sound weird, but I think what made it real for me was that moment that I realized staff had experience with addiction, and then the idea of sobriety, I could visualize it. And just having support of people who have gone through things that you've gone through and understand and not judge you, and you can tell they actually want to help you, it was something that I never had before. Like my parents, they never wanted to help. I never gotten taken care of. And being there, staff took care of me, but they also made me do things on my own that I never thought I could. So then I started to believe in myself as well as the idea of sobriety. I think that human connection is what got me to stay in recovery. When I was using, I did it alone or, with my parents. So there wasn't a lot of healthy connections at all there. And I isolated so much that when I came into a situation where I wasn't alone, I was dealing with people who were dealing with what I was dealing with, and then also dealing with people on the other side of it who were already sober. It was so many different kinds of connections that I had never had before. It's really what got me motivated, but allowed me to believe in something and put the work towards it. Life in sobriety for me is being able to deal with life as life is and not want to get high, not feel overwhelmed. You feel like you have the strength and a reason to keep going no matter how hard it gets. And you realize that nobody's life is perfect and you don't want it to be. It's just for taking experiences for what they are, getting what you can out of it, and seeing that there's a brighter side on the end of every situation and experience. I think the biggest moment that I had where it was actually like an enlightenment, I had built this like really close relationship with all of the girls that I was there with, and we had a falling out over something stupid, and I felt like the whole world had turned on me. So I went to one of the staff and I was like, I'm not doing this anymore, I'm done, it's not worth it, nobody likes me, just lost it. I sat there and I argued with Dana for probably about 25 minutes about poor me, this sucks, there's no point, there's no purpose. And finally she just asked me, what are you so mad about? What is it that you want to go back to that is worse or is better than what's going on now? And I was pissed because I didn't have an answer. And I was just pissed. So then I ended up talking to Marcus. And Marcus has a way with his words that, you can't argue back because you have to sit and think about what he just said. And you have to process it and take it for what it is. And he just told me that I needed to stop getting these ideas of where I'm supposed to be at and what's supposed to be happening and comparing myself to what's happening for other people. I just need to be okay with where I'm at and look at where I came from. And I sat there and I thought about it, and I thought about it, and I thought about it, and I realized that I didn't even know who I was before, and I never thought I would be where I am now or where I was. I had just completely grown as a human being. I went from literally nothing to just something I never thought I could be. And it was like a light just went off in my head. And even other clients told me, like, I just skyrocketed from there. Like, I wasn't as negative anymore. I was more positive. I was more open. I spoke at meetings. I shared in group. Like, everything just started to fall into place from there. I don't know if they'll see this, but I do want to say thank you to all the staff at Cornerstone, between people like Dana, people like Karen, people like you, and also just like the house managers and people like Tom. He's helped me so much. Even though I'm not in PHP anymore, I still wouldn't be where I'm at without Tom, because he helps me day to day. And it's still amazing to me that even though I'm not living there anymore, I still have support and acknowledgement, and it just means a lot. And I think if I would have gone to any other center, I probably wouldn't have stayed in recovery. And I genuinely believe that. So thank you guys.